Hey everyone, welcome to Play Hooky with me. My name is Roz, and in today's video I'll be showing how to make the classic Harlequin stitch. This is a beautiful pattern that works really well for blankets and scarves. We're making it with a 4-row repeat, but don't let that stop you from giving it a try even if you're a beginner. I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks along the way that help me to memorize the sequence, and hopefully they'll help you too. Along with the Harlequin stitch, I'm also going to share a quick overview on how to create this easy moss stitch border. I think it complements this pattern really well. And as always, there are timestamps along the progress line so you can jump to your point of interest. I'm going to add a time here in case you want to jump straight to the pattern, but I wanted to give a little bit of a stitch guide before we get started. We're working with double crochets to create these diamonds in this pattern, but we're going to be doing it differently for the top and the bottom portions. The bottom portion, we're going to be creating clusters. The clusters will consist of 6 double crochets together. And then we work the top of the diamond, we're going to be working a fan stitch. This is 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. The reason this is considered a 4-row repeat is because for 1 row of diamonds, we're going to start with half of a diamond, and then for the next row, it will start with a full diamond. Because of that, we are going to be starting differently for these rows, and that's why it's a 4-row repeat. To get started, add a slip knot to your hook. We're going to be working this pattern in multiples of 8. For this tutorial, I'm going to be working up to 24, so just go up to whatever length you are wanting to work. And then once you have your multiple of 8 finished, go ahead and add 1 extra chain. That's going to serve as your turning chain. To begin row 1, we're going to be creating fan stitches, so the top portion of the diamonds, followed by a single crochet to anchor it down. So starting in the 5th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, create your first fan stitch. That's 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets, all into the same chain stitch. Now from here on out, we're going to be working into each 4th chain. Working into the 4th chain now, 1, 2, 3, 4, create a single crochet. This will anchor down your fan. Now working into the next 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, work another fan stitch. 3 doubles, a chain 1, and 3 doubles. Followed by another single crochet in the next 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet. Continue this all the way across. We're getting ready to work row 2, and I'm going to be changing colors for each diamond segment. You can absolutely just fasten on and off in a typical way, but what I like to do is finish the very last stitch with the next color. And it's really easy to do. Just go ahead and back up a little bit. Take that last stitch you created, making sure you have 2 loops left. This is what it will look like. You can bring in a new color just like this, but I like to add a little slip knot to it. I find that just helps me to anchor it down for some reason. So I create a slip knot, remove it off the hook, put those 2 loops back onto the hook, and now I'm going to take the new color and pull it through, leaving the knot on the side. At this point, I snip the old yarn and tie these 2 ends together. I don't double knot this, I just do a single tie just to hold it in place. When I'm finished with the project, then I'll go ahead and do the double knot before I weave in the ends. And now we're ready for row 2. For row 2, we're going to be creating the bottom half of our diamond. To begin, chain 3 and turn your work. To begin this row, we're only going to be working half of a diamond, so instead of doing the 6 double crochets together, we only need to do 3. We're going to be working into the very top portions of the 3 double crochets below in the previous row. To do double crochets together, this is super easy. We're just going to yarn over, going into the top of that first double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 only. Instead of finishing that double crochet, we're going to continue with these next 2 only half finishing. So yarn over, going into the top of the previous double, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat, yarn over, going into the top of that previous double, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we have essentially 3 double crochets created, but we want to finish it now, so we're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops. And now we're going to create a chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to do these 6 double crochets together, the cluster, to build the bottom of your diamond. And all you need to focus on for this is that you're always going to be working into the top of the double crochets that you made in the previous row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, going into the top of that previous double crochet, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. It is going to wrap around on you like that. It's okay, just be patient with it. And instead of finishing your double crochet, you're just going to continue going in, pulling through, and pulling through 2. Skipping over the single crochet there, working into the top of those 3 doubles, continue on. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Lovely knot in the yarn there. And then one more, yarn over, pull through 2. And so you should have 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll see 7 loops on your hook because you have that little extra working yarn loop there. Yarn over, pull through all 7 loops. And here you've created your cluster and the bottom of your diamond. Chain 7. And continue doing this all the way across until you come to the very last 3 doubles on the side, and I'll meet you here. Once you've reached the last cluster or 6 double crochets together, create your chain 7 just as normal. And now that you're back on the side here, you're just going to do the 3 double crochets together. To finish the row, we're going to do a double crochet, and we're going to go into the little chain here at the very end of this fan. There you go. And you should have something that looks like this. For row 3, we're going to start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn. Now we're working the top of our diamond. We're starting with a half diamond to complete this one here on the side. And all we need to do for this is 3 double crochets. Working into this little space here, 3 doubles. Now to anchor it down, we're going to do a single crochet like we were doing in the very beginning, but we're going to do it over this chain 7. So working into the top of that first fan you created, create a single crochet. At this point, I kind of pull on that chain just to center it in there. And now we're going to complete this diamond. We're going to build the top with a fan. That's 3 double crochets, a chain 1, 3 double crochets. Work it right in that little center spot there. Three double crochets, chain 1, 3 more double crochets. Okay, we're back to our long chain. We're just going to anchor our top of our fan down with a single crochet right in the top of that previous fan. And done. You're just going to continue doing this all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end. Once you've come to the end and you've done your single crochet before your half of a diamond here, you're just going to complete it with your 3 double crochets in this little space here. Okay, and then to anchor this down, we're going to finish with a double crochet and put it at the top of the original chain 3 that you made. Go ahead and switch colors, and then to begin row 4, chain 1 and turn. In that very first stitch, create a single crochet, and then chain 3. And now we're ready to begin our next cluster to go into this little divot here. Now the reason we did a single crochet and chain 3 is because it's going to mirror how we end on the other side. And now we're going to create the bottom or our cluster for the bottoms of our diamonds here. And we're just going to repeat what we were doing in row 2. 6 double crochets together, working to the very top double crochets from the previous row. So yarn over, going through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, moving over to the top of the next 3 double crochets, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, 2, yarn over, pull through all your loops to complete the cluster. Chain 7, and just continue this all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm nearing the end and I'm at my final area that I'm going to create a cluster into this dip here. So just do this as you normally would. Yarn over, pull through all your loops. And now you're at the end here, and just like the beginning, we're going to do a single crochet with a chain 3. So chain 3 here, and then complete with a single crochet. And now we're ready for row 5 and the final portion of your 4-row sequence here. So chain 1 and turn. We have a full diamond here, so we're going to do a full fan to match it. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in this little space here. Okay, a single crochet into the top of the previous fan to anchor things down. And then just continue this across. Create your fan stitch, anchor it down with a single crochet, and so on. And I'll meet you at the end. Okay, we finished our final diamond here, the top of it with our fan stitch. And now all we need to do is anchor it down with a single crochet. Working into the top of your single crochet that you started with, create another single crochet. And that's all there is to it. To begin row 6 and so on, you're just going to repeat the previous 4 rows. So to continue on, work row 2, 3, 4, and 5 until you reach the end of your project. I've added the sequence in the description box below. I have it written out for you, the steps, as well as a link so you can go straight to the row that you need to reference. I wanted to mention a couple of tips here that helped me to memorize or keep track of this pattern with this 4-row sequence. First of all, using a stitch marker really helped me out. I would recommend that as soon as you start row 2, go ahead and add a stitch marker. This way, as you're working, you can always refer back to it to see where you are in the sequence. And the other little tip that really helped me is to remember that the first 2 rows start with a chain 3, and then the second 2 rows start with a single crochet or a chain 1, whichever you prefer. When you're ready to finish your project, you want to end on a row 4 from your 4-row sequence. And just for quick reference, it's the row where you created your full bottoms of your diamonds on that row. And all we need to do to finish this is create single crochets all the way across to secure it. It's going to look something like this. Chain 1 and turn. To determine how many single crochets I want to do across, I do a couple of things. I remember the chain count that I used. For this tutorial, I did a chain count of 24. So I want to get as close to that as possible, but I'm not going to make that mandatory. And the reason I don't try to get too exact with this is because this is a great time to straighten things out. So you may find that things are working tightly, so you may want to add a couple of single crochets, or if it's a bit wavy, you can reduce some single crochets. Let your eyes be your guide with this. I don't like this to be very gappy, so I'm going to pull from the bottom here to kind of tighten it together. Single crochet into that center. About 4 in this long stretch here. And then one final one in that little edge there. One more thing that I do before I'm completely finished, before I start a border, is I go ahead and I do a single crochet into the beginning chain where I started. That's so it can be more consistent with the finish of the blanket. To create a moss stitch border, it is really easy to do, and it just consists of single crochets and a chain 1. You're just going to do that all the way around. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. For the corners, it's a single crochet, chain 2, and then a single crochet. And you're going to do that for every single round that you do. I just go into a corner, pull my yarn through, and that's a single crochet already. Chain 2, and then another single crochet in the same space. And now we're just going to do a chain 1, single crochet all the way across. You're going to skip a chain in between to do this. So chain 1, skip a chain or a stitch, single crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip, going into the next with a single crochet. You're going to do this all the way across until you reach the next corner. If you get to the next corner and you don't have a chain 1 that you can do, don't sweat it. You can just fiddle around with this a little bit. Again, this is a great time if you're finding that things are going too tight or too loose. You can add a chain or take away a chain. So for example, if this was working really tight, I might do 2 chains every now and again to help stretch it out. If I'm finding it's too loose, I may skip a couple of stitches before I do my single crochet to kind of pull it in. So nobody's going to see this. This is a great time on this very first round here to just kind of fix things. And then to finish, I have a chain 1, and then I just do a slip stitch into that beginning corner. And now just continue on round after round doing the same thing. At this point, I just start in different places for each round, just finding one of the chain 1 spaces, fasten on with a single crochet, chain 1, and work exactly like you did before. Just single crochet, chain 1 all the way around. Reaching a corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain one, and continue across.